Hello everyone and welcome to another Wizard101 video where I am on my Death Wizard now for my level 130 gear setup. So we are going to go over his gear and also talk a little bit about his Jade gear. His Jade gear is pretty much what my life character has for his Jade gear, and it's pretty much the exact same gear. So if you want to see what my Jade gear would be, it's on my life character's video. So check that out. I usually just transfer that over to this character if I'm going to spam Juju. So that's where my Jade gear is for this character as well. So go ahead and check that video out for my life character for his healing setup. It's pretty much the same for my death character. So let's get into his stats now. So for his stats, he has 7,326 health, 140 damage, 40% resistance and everything. So 40 universal, 20 extra universal as well. He has 31% accuracy, so he summons all the time. He also has 567 critical, which is decent. It's overall. I can raise this a lot if I wanted to, but for now, he has 567 with 44% chance of critting every time. He has 129 block, 22 armor piercing, which is really good. I'm happy about the armor piercing on this character. So he's good on armor piercing. 32% healing in. He has 504 pip conversion, 100% power pips exactly, and also 9% shadow. So let me go back here so you guys can see his stats again. Just go through here. There we go. So off to his gear now. For his hat, I am using Deathly Paradox Conical. Very good level 130 hat. I plan on probably getting the Dragoon level 130 hat for the new crafting level 130 gear for the Death Wizard because it gives more critical and it's a pretty good hat. So probably going to get the Dragoon one, but right now I'm wearing this. For Robe, Bone Smasher, Robe of Strife. You can go different routes with the robes. So I don't have the Tennyson robe yet, so you can go for the level 125 Tennyson robe. It gives a little bit better stats. Not too much better. There's hardly any difference between the two robes. But if you want, you can just still use the Bone Smasher robe. It's still a really good robe to have. But there is also the Tennyson robe, like I mentioned earlier, for level 125. For boots, I am using the Deathly Paradox boots. Really good boots. I plan on getting Dragoon boots for this guy, which gives more critical and resistance. So Dragoon boots is a must for my character. I plan on eventually farming for those boots to get better stats for him. So for now, I have the Deadly Paradox boots on him. For wand, I'm using Admiral's Boarding Hook wand. It's not the best wand for this character, but it's the level 131. I tried getting the other wand from the Sinbad pack that gives the death damage, but I could not get it after spending like 50,000 crowns on that pack. So I just decided to throw on the Boarding Hook wand for him since I could not get that dang wand. But for now, this is what he has. Otherwise, he would have like 3% more damage on this character. So, yeah, next best wand. He also has some other wands in here that I kind of use. I also have the Nimbari wand if I want more damage, the 19% damage there. And I also got the critical wand for Tormentors, Shredder, level 100, 195 extra critical. I also could use this one too with 20 damage on for death. So for Aetham, I'm using Lord of Death's Razor, of course. As you guys can tell by my other max sets, I pretty much use this Aetham on all the characters just because the overall stats. But I also have Mercy of Shadow's Light here with the extra critical. So yeah, you can also use this. It's also a great Aetham to have. I just prefer using Lord of Death Razor for the extra accuracy, and it's just 1% less. But this gives more outgoing. It's very good outgoing, healing Aetham. So if you want to go with a healing set, this is good Aetham to put on. The Mercy of Shadowlight, for, Morganth Amulet, not Amulet, Aetham. I keep getting the two mixed up. Amulet though, Morganth Amulet, Shadow Graces, Shadow Queen's Grace. For tanking, I use Arcanum Exile Torque of Strife for my tanking setup for Juju spamming for the extra resistance. So this guy pretty much gets 80 universal resistance when he has that full Jade setup. I looked at it earlier to make sure, and yeah, he has 80% universal resist when he's wearing the full setup. For ring, Alpha Ring, just great all-around ring. For extra critical, but I lose my pip chance, I have the Ghost Dog's Dire Loop for extra critical to get me in a 600 range, close to the 700 range if I had a better deck as well, but I don't have a good deck on. I need to get a better deck for this guy. We will eventually go to that here in a bit to show you. But I have these two rings for critical and overall. So those are my two rings. I do plan on getting the Dragoon ring, which will give me a lot more critical and some extra damage. So I'm looking forward to getting that ring crafted for this character. For pet, I am using a Mega Gulcher pet, which gets me a Blade, a Feint, and Age of Reckoning, which gives critical, striker, spell defy, spell proof, death boon, death dealer, and also threw a death giver jewel on there for extra damage. So looking into this pet more, yeah, there you go, spell proof, spell defy, critical striker, death boon, death dealer, death giver. And here's the pet's stats if you guys want to know them. There you go. Here's what the pet stats are. And going to my mount, I use the Death Culture for 3 extra damage. And for the deck, I use a Horizon Hold, Array of Gloom. I do not have the Death Paradox deck yet. I do plan on getting the Death Paradox deck for the Triangle Socket. So I can use that Triangle Socket for pip chance, and then I can switch to my critical ring permanently so that I have 100% power pip chance, and I also have that extra critical with that deck on as well to help boost my critical stats up. So right now, this is what I have for my best deck. I don't really have any better decks on this character, so that's what I am currently using for him. And here's what he has in his deck setup. This deck was set up for one of the Catacombs bosses, so I have lots of strike in here. But this isn't usually what his deck would have, but I have a lot of Deer Knights. I usually have lots of Lulu, lots of Blades, some Virulence, but I also will use, on my other characters, I will use the upgraded Berserk version. I should get that for this character as well, but he doesn't have it. For his treasure cards, I usually use sometimes Death Blades, but mostly Spirit Blades for his treasure card setup. But yeah, this is pretty much what he has. I also throw in some Headless Horsemen's in there just for low pip hit spells. Dr. Braun's Monster for some higher hit spells for without any shadows, and just a few Avenging Fossils. But mainly Lulu, you know, I got some Winged Sorrows, also some Kismas. Mainly this isn't what I usually have. I usually have some other stuff in here, but this is what I have for now. I usually have some traps, some feints in there, some other traps in there. But since I went through those Catacomb bosses, this is just what his setup is for right now. I'll probably come back and change this later, but there's his deck. So that is pretty much it for this character, though. Jason Crowtamer setup. If you guys want or have any questions for me, put them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them about the Death Wizard setup for the 130 gear. I also made some 1 through 130 gear setup, or well, best gear in the game. I pretty much walk through each level, usually by intervals of 10, or if depending on the school or depending on the gear setups. But I made videos on best gear if you need help with that. I also made some other helpful videos, so check those out. And I also made a good pet video to get good pets, so if you want to check that out, go for it. But this has been my Death Wizard setup, a big improvement from my 120 gear setup from the past. So there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.